Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 23rd to the 29th of March 2020. We are in some very big weeks astrologically, so there's a lot to unpack here. But to begin with, the spring equinox. We're in the middle of the spring equinox, taking us through to the beginning of next week, and this is always a time to have a pause, to have a held breath, to stop as we're about to start a new cycle. So it's quite appropriate that many people have been paused. We've all been given the opportunity to stop and to reflect. So very important spring equinox, but also this year Saturn moves into Aquarius. Saturn has a 28 to 30 year cycle, so this hasn't happened for 28 to 30 years. And Saturn in Aquarius is a big deal. Saturn will be going through the beginning degrees of Aquarius and then retrograding back into Capricorn. But on a very magnificent winter solstice, we'll be moving into Aquarius for good with Jupiter as well. So these charts are huge, especially for now and for the winter solstice. So Saturn in Aquarius is responsibility. Aquarius is our vibration, the realization that we're not housed solely within the physical form, and that our feelings especially are vibrations that go way outside of the body, and that we are contributing to the non-visible world in this way. So Saturn says take responsibility for your transmission. Whatever you're transmitting, you'll be attracting back to you. There'll be some very curious, visionary and rebellious energies around with this aspect, but to stay sovereign and centred in ourselves is the key. But the real big news of this week and of the next coming weeks is that we have Jupiter, Pluto, Mars and Saturn all in conjunction. That means together. So if we look back to the 12th and 13th of January, we had that big grand conjunction of Saturn, Pluto, the Sun and Mercury, which was like a pressure point that we had to come through and out of, leaving the past density behind and allowing ourselves to be in a state of potential. Then Mercury retrograde came along and said incubate in that potential, don't decide anything, don't plan, get out of the rational brain, just connect to your wholeness and revisit on a soul retrieval all that you are. And now Mercury retrograde is coming to an end by the end of the week, so we can look back to the middle of February to see the journey that we've been on. But with Mars, Pluto, Saturn and Jupiter all meeting at the same degree in Capricorn, then we're coming to the next phase of this, coming out of the incubation. So this grand climax will be on the 4th of April, and I feel from the 4th to the 10th of April is really a reset and a new start, how we then go forward and apply this new way of being from a soul-centred perspective. So for the next couple of weeks, as we're quiet, as we're inward, just reflecting on the changes that have happened, implementing them, embodying them, and not getting caught up with the outward world as it's presented to us will be the best course of action. So as part of this phenomenal string of events, on Monday Mars meets Pluto. Mars and Pluto both rule Scorpio. What we're looking at here is a phoenix-like transformation, lighting the fire underneath, raising up our power and being reborn. So Mars and Pluto both meeting at the degree of the grand conjunction or thereabouts in January. This is beginning the rebirth phase, and it's so appropriate that this is at the time of Easter, which is the rebirth of the year. Talking of rebirth, by Tuesday we have the new moon at 4 degrees Aries. So the sun's just moved into Aries and now it's met by the new moon. So this is the new year. So like I say, from now to the 4th through to the 10th of April, we've got a time to really realign with our passion, our excitement, our vision in a way that was never possible before. The dreams that we've incubated during the Mercury retrograde in Pisces can now be amplified and sparked up. This week Venus is in harmony with Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. This brings a sense of centred, heartfelt gratitude, ease and beauty to our quest. We're often told that life has to be a long, hard struggle. Do the hard work, do the shadow work, and eventually you'll feel lighter. But there's a sense of ease and presence with this one, to appreciate right now. and to actually appreciate all the amazing things that are happening. Venus is in Taurus, and Jupiter, Pluto and Mars are in Capricorn. Those are both earth signs. So we're getting reports now that pollution levels are reducing. We've got cleaner skies, land and sea. So there's a reset for the world as well in this aspect, with those earth signs all singing in harmony. By Friday, it's always a good day to stop and appreciate. Many of us have been stopped in our usual routine, and the timing of this could not be more perfect. So take time to meditate, reflect, and to connect with the real and nourishing side of life as the old systems are falling away, and together with our vibration and our responsibility for it with Saturn and Aquarius, we're beginning to create an amazing new alternative. And as we go through to next week, we start to see this grand conjunction, Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, and even Saturn's in there a little bit too. This hasn't happened since 1894 BC. And adding Mars into the mix, it's incalculable when this last happened. This is unique. And we're privileged to be here witnessing these times unfolding, creating and contributing as individuals and collectively. So in astrology there's something called the Great Year. This is 25,920 years long. The age of Aquarius is part of that, a twelfth of it, at 2,160 years long. Nobody knows the exact date that this started because everything's about transitional phases, but we're in the age of Aquarius, which is the spring of the Great Year. So with Saturn going into Aquarius, that heralds that start. With the Sun in Aries starting a new cycle, that's the rebirth. With the new moon, that doubles the rebirth. Then this grand conjunction coming along, really showing us how to take these energies forwards and be the rebirth. Then these are magnificent times. So as most of us will have at least 2 hours more per day for not commuting, then there's plenty of time to actually be still, to breathe, to reflect and to realign, especially now that the Mercury retrograde has finished in Pisces. So those dreams that we've incubated, the spark, the passion, the vision, that's all ready to be birthed now. So let's take some time to nourish ourselves, to rest, to let go, to enjoy the extra time that we have, and to really get to know our new selves during these very strange and exciting times. Just to let you know, nearly all of my readings are done online, as my clients are across the world, and this works very well. I send a copy of your chart, pictures of the cards that come up, and an MP3 link to download. So I do have readings, coaching sessions, and courses all available online if you'd like to spend that extra time realigning to where you want to go, to your purpose, to make those changes so you don't jump back into the old routine when this is blown over. This is really an opportunity for us to make significant changes, get that sense of direction. Also, if you'd like to learn astrology, there are many applications to this. You can learn your own chart, you can learn how to work personally with the moon cycles, you can learn how to effectively run a holistic business, you can explore health, relationships, direction, purpose. Many different things can be involved in a reading. So please do come through to me, zoehine7@gmail.com if you'd like to connect. And I'll be posting daily at AstroZo on Facebook, at zoehine7 on Instagram, and these videos are Zoe Astro on YouTube. My website has all this information on it, www.astrozo.com. So wishing you a peaceful, restful and nourishing week as all these incredible energies swirl around us and huge changes are on the horizon. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week.